doubles, and you start to wrap your head around.
And then overwhelming excitement. The Brooklyn mom of an 8-year-old was having 2 more boys who would be named after fighters Cassius and Apollo. It was a pregnancy against all odds, high risk in the middle of a pandemic, and it took a sudden turn during a routine sonogram.
And she says, there's only one heartbeat.
Shattered beyond words, Chrissy had no time to grieve as she delivered Apollo's stillborn and gave birth prematurely to Cassius.
I'm so blessed to have him because he almost didn't make it. It's hard because no matter how how life goes, I still pictured 2 babies. I still pictured having, 3 sons. It doesn't go away.
Also lingering are questions of how this happened and her growing conviction that race played a devastating role.
The numbers are crazy. Like, we are dying at such an alarming rate. We're not making it, Black women. We are dying in the hospital. Our babies are not making it. We're miscarrying well after the date where they say that you should be out the clear.
The numbers are undeniable. The CDC says Black women are twice as likely as white women to give birth prematurely. They die in childbirth at a far higher rate. And Black babies are also twice as likely to die before their first birthday. While research shows there are many factors, doctors are finding one alarming constant.
Women are saying that they are not being listened to and they're not being heard. And that is why now the focus is on whether or not there's implicit bias happening. Organizations are paying attention to whether or not women are being listened to.
It's caught the attention of groups like the March of Dimes, which launched implicit bias training for doctors and hospitals nationwide, saying it's time for us to have an honest conversation about the huge health disparities that exist for women of color.
Racism in America.
You're a Black woman.
At first I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel like it was because I was Black. We're ignored on so many levels.
Wrong.
But when it happens to you, you don't really realize what's happening until it's over.
For Chrissy, the red flag was extreme pain during her pregnancy that she felt her doctor brushed off.
When I ask her, it's like, oh, it's relative. Oh, it's fine. Like, oh, it's a part of pregnancy. It was never like, maybe I should check this out.
America was built on racism, built on evil.
Which is standard for a mom with twins. She felt her doctor didn't give her extra help to get it booked. And when Chrissy finally got in on her own,
dangerous.
It was too late.
The part that was the
dangerous
most
America.
She said, well, this happened within 1 to 3 days. And I kept saying, I felt movement. Like, I just felt him. If I was seeing, the week prior, this could have been prevented.
Saving another mother from an ordeal like Chrissy's is the mission of Brooklyn Assembly member Rodnise Bachat.
Why do we have such high disparities in birth rates? In care, maternal care, it's ridiculous.
It's racism.
Also lost a baby prematurely. And
Psycho dogs just want to kill.
Would require hospitals to provide better care and information for preterm moms. The federal government is also taking steps with a national campaign called Hear Her.
That means that we are supposed to listen to women, all women, and particularly women of color, when they reach the healthcare system, at the door, at the office, in the operating room.
For Chrissy, there's no telling when those conversations in the hospital will stop replaying in her mind. It's possible they never will, but she knows there's a helpful, powerful lesson for others in her ordeal.
Advocate for yourself. If you feel that something is just not right when you go into your doctor's appointment, and listen to your gut,
Those
find a
retards.
new doctor.
Doctors don't know what they're doing half the time anyway. It's like going to a bad mechanic.
It's important to advocate for yourself.
Because they're not going to help you.
Gus, when you consider that the basis of all U.S. medicine is first, do no harm, this is particularly disturbing and alarming. And I'm so glad that we are bringing some light, shedding some light on this subject and getting people talking about it. And as she said, as Chrissy said, advocating for themselves, advocating for yourself, your baby, your family. You can't do any better than that. It's awful. The numbers